Okay, in a previous video, I compared your pain in the butt with a leaning palm tree. Unlike with the palm tree, it's not so easy to see whether you have a leaning palm tree kind of problem with the way you use your body. But knowing that is essential for giving you some idea of how far away you are from solving your pain. So here is a test. There are other tests in other videos that test other things, but here we are testing how one-sided your pelvis is. For this test, you need a table at about the height of your leg, measured when you stand up to it. I am going to use the table that I have been using here at the park in the beautiful sunshine, where I have been recording this video. And in just a second. So the table should be about the height of your pelvis. So it might be a dining table that works well, or your kitchen counter if you're taller. You might want to put something soft on the counter, like a folded towel or something like that, so it doesn't hurt and you can do it for a little bit. Then do this. Stand on one leg and put your other ankle on the lower leg flat on the counter. Let me try to demonstrate this. Okay, so here is my table. I'm going to move my leg up like this, right in front of me. So if you have bad piriformis syndrome, you may not actually be able to do this at all. In which case, try a lower table so that you can do it as well as you can. Don't hurt yourself doing it. Just try to get as close to this position as possible, all right? I've moved just my leg up and cross it over and lay it down. Ideally, you should put your knee and your ankle flat on the ground. Do it as well as you can. And now, if you can, bend forward and bend forward so that on the side of where your knee is, the elbow bend down until, as far as it will go, until here. The goal is to touch the table in front of your knee with your elbow. Let's see whether you can do that. Chances are you can't, but that's okay. So if you managed to touch the table with your elbow, congratulations. If not, go as far as feels comfortable and stay in this position for a while. You want to stay in this position for a while, as far as you can make it, because this is a really good stretch for your piriformis. You probably feel a stretch deep inside your butt, where your piriformis is. You might want to rock up and down a little and get a feel for how the stretch feels in your butt. Of course, your cramping piriformis may not want you to cooperate in any stretch, even a little bit. That's fine. Don't force it. Then do the same thing with the other side and compare. Actually, I would say I wait. Now I don't. You have to stop the video for a second. Try out the other side and compare how far you get with your other elbow with respect to the table. Okay, done both sides. Now compare. Chances are that your right and your left side behave quite differently. When I did this for the first time, when I had my problems, I remember how shocked I was. On one side, I almost managed to reach the table with my elbow. Maybe I was missing about an inch or two. Now I can easily get down, but back then I was missing an inch or two. On the other side, my elbow stayed away from the table by almost a whole foot. Right? This distance from the table, I could not get any closer. I tried what I could, and it could not be done. So chances are it is going to be similar for you because your cramped piriformis muscle won't let you get as close to the table on one side or as on the other. Of course, it's possible you can have piriformis problems on both sides, in which case you will maybe have similar experience on both sides. But in either case, you should be able to get with the elbow to the table. I'm going to claim that your piriformis problem is going to be solved by the time you manage to get both elbows on the table without too much of effort. As long as you don't, and in particular if one side is very different from the other, you have more work to do. So I suggest that you do this stretch on a regular basis, like once or twice a day. Go down as far as you can. And like every time you go in the kitchen or something, you stop at the table and do the stretch. It's really easy to incorporate this kind of thing into your daily routine. Um, like I'd like to get coffee occasionally, working in the home office, and then I can make this little stretch. Always do it on both sides. Always do everything on both sides. Just like the palm tree in the previous slide, lean to the left, but the hurting muscle was on the right. It doesn't mean that if your piriformis hurts on the right, the problem also needs to be on the right. So you need to work both sides equally. You will notice that stretching the other piriformis, the one on the side that doesn't hurt, is probably also not as easy or comfortable as you would like. That's another reason for stretching both sides. One final comment, and I will be making this comment many more times: spend some time for the stretch. Whenever people show how to do stretches of any kind, like for fitness class or yoga or wherever you see things about stretches, they usually do a stretch for like 5 or 10 or maybe 15 seconds, and then they move on to do something else. I have found that for stretches to work for our problem here with the piriformis, you need to spend much more time on it, like a minute or two or more. Don't push too hard. Don't overdo it. Don't overstretch, of course. You will notice if you pay attention to your body when you get there. But spend the time, and as a side effect, you can see what progress you're making with the rest of the program. As I said, don't expect any quick miracles. So chances are that even after some weeks of working on all sorts of things, you cannot see any difference in how close to the table you are getting with your elbows. But I remember how thrilled I was when I finally felt I was getting closer to the table than that 1 foot distance. And now, as you have seen it in the video, I can easily get to the table on both sides and probably could get further if the table weren't in the way. I could do it, and so can you.